innan så vi bara vänta en stund här. Vad vill du öppna med? So, hi everybody. We're back.
We're back.
Yep. And today we're going to be talking about a specific film.
Directed by yours truly.
Yep. So, what is the film called?
It is called Jacob and His Satanic Friends Road to Hell.
All right. So you guys just have to check this film out. But before you do, or after you do, you might as well check this session out all the way to the end. So I have a few questions. How did you come up with the idea?
Well, as a huge fan of rock and metal and punk and all that sort of stuff, I kind of always loved the history of it and the evolution, like how it came from, how it started off, like what it was like in the 60s with bands like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and stuff like that, and then went to the modern rock and metal that we see today with bands like Slipknot and Foo Fighters and whatnot.
All right. All right. And but
And also, I was very inspired by the movie This is Spinal Tap, which is a really great film. It's a mockumentary about this band that's, is considered the greatest band, but they're kind of a bumbling joke where everything that can go wrong does go wrong. You
oh,
just kind of have to check it out. It's really funny.
so you got a new recommendation there of what you can watch as well. So thank you for that. I just wanted to check with you. So, and what genre would you put the film you made?
I would put it like kind of in the same like a mockumentary, which is like a comedy movie, but in a documentary type of format.
All right. And how about the title? Because that title kind of sticks out in the sense that it catches your eye and it kind of like it's that was that meant to be that it kind of catches the viewer that watches the title like
Well, I guess so, maybe, but the main thing about it is that when I came up with the name, I had it in my mind like way before I came to work at this certain place. Place. I don't want to spoil what that place is
all right, yeah, yeah, I
called,
mean,
but
well,
but
look,
but anyway,
yeah, yeah,
I had this in mind, and I was hanging out with
mm,
certain people that I don't want to associate with anymore
yeah, yeah,
because I had it, envisioned in my mind like me and these people being a band together,
mm,
and we were gonna be Jacob and his satanic friends,
mm,
and I was picturing us playing everything from like classic rock, heavy metal,
yeah.
punk rock, alternative rock, grunge, and black metal and death metal and stuff like that.
All
So
right.
that's where the name Jacob and his satanic friends came by, because they comes from obviously the satanic image of heavy metal, obviously, but
Mm.
also it was kind of a reference to the Rolling Stones owns album by the name Their Satanic Majesty's Request. And
Okay, all
and
right. So
it
that's
and it's also kind of a reference to
mm,
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers in that sense, because you have like me being Tom Petty in this case.
okay.
Hey,
And but is it like
and it's also just kind of a funny title generally.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, Satanic Friends. Hence, it kind of sounds like both a combination between like a death metal slash black metal band and something straight out of the Muppets or Sesame Streets or
Oh,
something.
okay. So therefore, all you viewers and listeners and everybody out there that's watching this. So it's a mockumentary, towards a mockumentary, right?
Yes,
And it's called Jacob and his Satanic Friends.
Road to Hell.
Road to Hell. All right.
Yeah,
And
that's the subtitle is kind of important
yeah, okay, so because
because it's like their history that they are going through.
mm,
Like they're going over how they started and what they later became.
all right, all right. So it's kind of the whole process, the whole road. A
Yes.
road.
Yeah.
The road
The
with all the image parts of like death metal and black metal. Like,
yeah.
hmm.
Well, we had a lot of the image was kind of just was nothing special. It was just a bunch of guys standing up on stage in like yeah some band maybe some band shirts or regular clothes. But a lot of it. But the idea behind the title was kind of inspired by a lot of different things.
All right. Okay. So you had like a few things you were inspired from, or inspired about. And that's where you got your inspiration from. Um,
Yeah.
so like when you were making this film, was it difficult to make? And did you have fun? Because it's mockumentary and all.
Well, I had a lot of fun actually filming some clips.
Mm.
There were, or like it was really fun standing on stage and pretending to play, hey, to be this great musician that I am decidedly not.
Oh, come on.
But
Come on.
but
It sounds like you had a lot of fun though.
yeah, I did, and there was also those interview moments where I was also where like these interview segments in the movie where I was giving my perspective, and a lot of the time we all four kind of screwed up our lines. Like I screwed up the least though. So
Okay.
I was like, I think it was like when I was talking about how David is wrong on who's better between the Rolling Stones and the Beatles. I was saying the Rolling Stones was better. He was saying Beatles was better. Or so I was basically saying he's wrong about this. Is the best band in the world is the Rolling Stones. And then I kind of forgot my line. I was like, fuck.
All right. So you had like there were several like fun situations or like fun things happening where did you I mean then you got a few like bloopers. Did you say them and immortalize them?
Well, I did, and they are readily available on my channel, along with the movie itself and the trailer, of course. And of course, some additional videos on there. But the main thing but to answer the question of was it difficult that you
Mm.
asked earlier, yes, it really was. It took like about 2 years in total to make, and we almost got completed earlier this year. Like, yeah, I think in April it was. Yeah. And like before April also it was like mm, I think might have been like May or something. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know. I don't
something
know.
around there.
Oh, but we were close and then one day I just broke my leg. Pig. I fell down some stairs and broke my leg. I got to the hospital in
Ouch.
Lund, and I spent like 7.5 days there. But since then, I've like almost fully recovered, and yeah, I went to Sweden Rock Festival as well, while my leg was still recovering. So yeah,
That's really cool though.
yeah, and
Nice, good that you're feeling better
yeah.
than then. Better than then, because that is such an unfortunate thing. So like when you were
Yeah, and while my leg was still recovering, I actually went to my job and continued like I showed up one Wednesday and I surprised people because I was coming with crutches and everything.
yeah.
And I was like I'm going to work on this movie to complete it. So I worked on it that day. I worked on it the next Wednesday next week, and then it was finally completed. They sent me the link, I downloaded it, and then I uploaded each part, the trailer, the movie itself, and the blooper slash behind the scenes compilation, like 3 days apart from one another.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's really nice that you got to finish it the way you wanted, despite of the unfortunate thing with with your leg, and so nice to hear that you're feeling better.
Yes.
Um, but it's like so it took a lot of time though. So was it like you filmed different scenes, and that itself was like a process, and then editing also, because I know you were very meticulous about editing, and it was like a lot of work around it.
Yeah, and the main part about it is that I wanted things to be a certain way.
Yeah.
I strived to make it as good as possible, and obviously I didn't want it to look amateurish, but obviously it's kind of difficult to make it not look like that at times. So, you can't. Some people might say I was a perfectionist, but I would disagree because like uh if I was a perfectionist, I would be, demanding like hundreds and hundreds upon takes to, get things right.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Stanley Kubrick, for example.
I
A great filmmaker, but not the best person.
I wouldn't, I don't, it's like I guess it's like weighing the creative process and your vision with different things that happen during the full time of filming and editing. Like everything can happen, which kind of puts you off schedule. It puts you off like something happens which which means that you have to change something, and then it just doesn't necessarily fit
Yeah,
into your
yeah,
vision.
yeah, but
And I guess that's what
yeah,
filmmakers
yeah,
in one
like
sense or another deal with. So
yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. We actually there was this whole thing that both Martin and David weren't available at the same time.
oh, okay.
So it was very like we couldn't film all four together, her essentially.
How did you
So,
work that one out? I mean, how did you deal with that? How did you
well, we
work around that?
well we kind of just recorded it separately with when David was there, we recorded with him, and with Martin, we recorded with him. So then we edited it together to like hide the fact that Martin wasn't there. But there are parts where you can clearly see that he's not there
Yeah, yeah.
here as well.
Oh, okay,
So it's
okay.
like, yeah, that was pretty difficult and
Mm,
very tedious to say the least. And there were also various parts where all of a sudden they were like, "Oh, we can't do this today because we got to do this other thing."
mm,
And I had to kind of just put it on hold, and that was very tedious and frustrating, to be honest, because I like to have things moving at a quick
mm,
pace and things like that, and I don't like it when it slows down because I want to be able to make my big ass projects
mm.
and everything.
So what would you give what would you say to somebody starting out making films? What kind of tips and tricks and recommendations would you like? What would you say to somebody starting out making film to plan for?
I would say to them, talk things through with your actors and prepare to the best abilities that you can. And if things don't work out, either work things around it or kind of put things on hold a bit. But other than that, I would also suggest that you put in as much work as you can, and
All right, and
and, and be prepared that it things aren't always going to go the way you want them to. That's one thing I can kind of say.
that's a very good that's a very good tip though, because it's like I'm thinking also like to is it also wise to do you think wise to plan to have a certain amount of margin in time for things that just pop up that kind of make things come off time plan? So when you plan and when you have a schedule to put in margin for errors or anything like that, would you say like would that be when like as you said, like try and work around it. That's a good thing, for example.
Yeah.
And and I know you guys didn't have a budget
No,
either, which is really
didn't
awesome.
really have a budget. We just kind of bought things or brought things that we had, and that was pretty much it.
That's to have no budget and still make this happen is and 2 years, two
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
no budget.
Yeah, and there was a huge process of,
Well done, by the
the
way. Well done.
yeah, thanks. But there was the huge process of, filming.
Mm,
There was the editing stage, and then
mm,
there was recording the music, mixing the music to make it sound live, and, editing together a poster.
mm,
The and I had to wait also for Marcus to, kind of do his I had to wait for him to do his voiceovers and to design the logo, and we've had to film like this outside thing where we had a lot of posters of the logo and things that he kind of just set up to have as a part of the trailer and also used in the movie itself so that we could use, the logo at the end.
mm.
But
So,
and we had to also design like a quick one of those quick new parts. If you have seen the movie, you probably remember the newspaper part that shows up early on in the movie
mm,
when we're playing Penny Lane.
yeah, yeah.
That that took a bit of time as
Mm,
well to make. Like, so there was a lot of things to work on.
mm. How many people would you say were involved during the whole film process and during the 2 years?
Oh, that's a hard question. Like, I can think of, well, aside, there's obviously the four of us, me, Rickard, David, Martin, and of course Marcus, who was both the guy doing the voiceovers as the narrator and or interviewer, whatever you want to call him, and he also designed the logo. But then you also had my friend Emmanuel, who was the cameraman. There was also a guy by the name of, yeah, there was also the guy by the name of Lionel,
Mm,
or his who is now going by the name of Tim. He was actually he also the cameraman. He doesn't work at my place anymore. So uh, we also then there was Pontus, another good friend of mine, and yeah, there and Alex
mm,
was another one. There, so there was a lot of people. I
mm,
can't even remember all of them,
mm, mm.
but there was a lot of people involved.
All right, and then there's also like so it's like, and then also on top of this, all the people, like all of whom you mentioned, have had like different roles, like different assignments like different assignments there, and work different things to do during the film. So like polymaths, essentially. So otherwise, like having a low budget or a non-budget like film, there are maybe less people working with it, or more. I think it's up to everybody, like what how you work that out. But like like if you would have a huge film set with like millions of, like a lot of money in it, you would probably also have maybe, like I don't know, like several people working in different departments,
Well,
and you had all a few people working like polymaths working with different things.
yeah, but a lot of us were
Mm,
cameramen, myself
mm,
included. Pretty much all of us actors were cameramen at one
mm,
point in the movie. So, and if there were also certain parts where I filmed like the interviews for these other people, for the other members, and you can if you actually listen carefully, you can actually hear like some heavy breathing, and that's me. Like, yeah, I don't know why I breathed so heavily.
okay, is it like but I guess when one is kind of focused on and your creative focus when like you want something to be a certain way and you're watching it the you're watching it all play out and you're thinking like you're 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 focused. Was that feeling when you were standing by the
Yeah, that
camera?
yeah,
It's
that
like
was
when people go
yeah,
like this.
yeah, that was probably what it was.
Mm.
I probably felt very stressed, like, come on, get the lines correctly. Like I was kind of just focused to get things right at that point.
All
So
right.
I think it has to do with that. And speaking of which, I was an actor of my in the movie as well, if the title of the movie wasn't obvious enough. And before anyone asks or even passes judgment on the title, it's not out of arrogance. I didn't name it because I my think of myself very highly. I don't think that highly of myself. If I really was arrogant and full of myself, would I have made myself look like a fool? No, I wouldn't have.
Or it's like the whole thing with the mockumentary, but I think that's really cool of you to kind of it's not easy for everyone to kind of stand on stage and give so much of themselves. Even in comedy and in stand-up comedy, it's not an easy thing. People put themselves out there and take risks, and this is what you did. So thank you for explaining that because
Yeah.
it's not an easy thing to stand on stage. And as you've heard, making a film is not it's not a short it's not a it's not a necessarily easy process.
No.
So
It
thank you for explaining a lot of things. Like, and
yeah.
if anybody wonders, like you just
Yeah.
said what your point of view is
Yeah.
and the situation as well.
Yeah. And especially not with a movie like this that has a lot of things to do. Like there's a lot of things you have to work on to get
Yeah.
it done.
Yeah.
On It's not a big movie in terms of its plot, but it's a big movie in terms of the work that you put into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, I'm trying to explain that the name doesn't come out of arrogance. I don't think that, I'm this big hot shot or anything like that. But there are so many people that will, pass judgment and say like, "Oh, he's so arrogant. He made himself the main character," and things like that.
I would say it's very modest. It's like very humble of you and to kind of just to explain just to say that. And I don't think that I don't believe that that's what people think, but it's very humble of you to say it, and also very cool that you just uh like put yourself out there and did this.
Yeah, and also another thing that I gotta say is that if like a lot of people have this misconception that actors are, these kings and queens and all that sort of stuff. That's not what an actor is. An actor is a fool, someone who puts themselves at risk by playing a character or to be someone that they're not.
Yeah.
They are basically there for the audience entertainment.
Yeah, that's a very important point. I know situations where actors go like when they're off stage or off filming or and definitely not on a premiere and they're going out to buy groceries. There are people that can come up to them and ask like, "Where's the treasure? Where's the treasure? I know you know where the treasure is." And the actors like look at them and like, "I'm sorry, that's who I play this character in this film." That's what the an actor would say. I play this character in the film, but you just have to stay tuned until next time, and you'll find out what my character does because that ain't me.
Yeah, but
That isn't that everything.
no, that isn't but the main point that I was trying to get
Mhm.
at is that there are so many actors and people in general who think that actors are, these kings and queens, like I said,
Mhm.
and they, like I said, they're not. They're the fools. They're there for your entertainment as the viewer.
That's a very philosophical, deep thing what
Yeah,
you just said there.
yeah, and for any
That's yeah.
yeah, and for any actor out there who think that, you're so big and everything, keep in mind you wouldn't be as big if you didn't have any viewers. That's the thing. And at the end of the day, if you don't like being laughed at and all that, then first of all, here's the thing. If you're afraid of being laughed at by people because you play a character that comes off as a fool, then you're in the wrong business.
Yeah, but also I think there is a situation where they when you walk off stage, there's the wish, I guess, also to be your own private person. But once you're in the spotlight and you get like there's a
Of
you're
course.
I think a lot of people are very humble in the sense that they greet their viewers and I think it's important to be humble, but then also like I think there's a thin line between being made fun of and being regarded as a great comedian,
Yeah,
as in and joining in the laughter,
as a
so to
as,
speak,
as a great
as
entertainer.
as a great entertainer. Exactly,
Yeah,
just what you said, just exactly what you were explaining here. Then,
yeah,
like
but
it's part of the
I
job, but
I
still
yes,
respect.
I I agree with your point of view. There is a thin line between being made fun of
Mm,
and being a good entertainer.
mm,
Or But the point is that people might make fun of you or laugh at you, be, and that is a huge risk that you will get by being part of, the film industry generally.
yeah,
So that's one thing that
fortunately,
you're
yeah.
gonna have to keep in mind. And also, by the way, hey, I played a fictionalized version of myself, so I wasn't playing the real me. If I was, I the movie wouldn't have been nearly as entertaining.
Good point, though. I do think I still think that a lot of people find you as an interesting person, whether or not. But I'm thinking also, as you said, you're playing a character,
Yeah,
so
and
you're
that's
not
the
playing
and that's
you.
and that's the thing. You kind of have to when you play a character, people will obviously think of you as that character. That's true, but you have to remember that just because I am a certain way as the character doesn't mean that that's necessarily who I am in real life. I mean, I know that Jack Black very much, is very similar to a lot of the characters that he plays, but I bet you that if he was actually 100% playing himself and not, a character, then guess what? He probably wouldn't be nearly as interesting.
I, well, we'll let that be unsaid though, 'cause I think it's a very interesting point that you're putting out there, because I guess everybody can relate to like when you're home in your sofa watching TV or doing whatever, you're probably not into being an entertainer at that moment. At least kind of have some time off for yourself to do some
Exactly.
like just recuperation like after work. So when you don't work, you're off work. So I think that that's pretty fair to say you probably wouldn't be an entertainer. Then you could also be like a very fun person generally,
Yeah.
not an
And
entertainer in that sense.
yeah,
But that's a very good point, though.
yeah, and
Very good point.
and the
You put
point
that extra effort in when you're working.
yeah, and like and it's like I said, you know, you are a character when you're playing a character, you're playing obviously you play it as a character, or that's not who you are in real life. But
Mm.
there are so many people that, think that that's the case. So, and so many people are thinking, oh, what if they laugh at me? What if they make fun of me? First of all, that's the risk of the job. And number two, that when the thing is, you have to kind of get to distinguish yourself from the character as well.
Yeah.
Because are they laughing at you in particular, or are they laughing at the character that you play?
Very, very, very like listen. Did you hear that? You heard that. You heard that. You understood just what Jacob just said right there. And also, like usually in comments and whatever you see or read on or hear on social media, that's like a little percentage of the majority in negatives, that is.
If,
So you would probably have a majority that really like what like what a person as an artist or like a an artist generally or
yeah,
an actor guys.
whether they be an actor, a musician, or a director, or whatever or have you. The thing I'm trying to get across with this a lot, and I know I'm repeating myself with it, that when you play a character, you play a character. That character isn't who you
Yeah.
are in real life. And if someone judges you or makes fun of you for what you did as a character, and they think that's who you are in real life, if, just remember, you are playing a character. You're not that person in real life. And also, I'm going to say another thing that might be encouraging to a lot of you people, and do not let the opinions of others determine your self-worth.
I think that was the highlight apart from your fantastic film and the work you've done. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you
And
for those very, very important words.
yeah, and I I assume you have one more question. For example, since I was both the writer, director, and actor, uh, how do you think things went for me in that regard?
To do all of the parts? Yeah, that's, I would like to know that.
Yeah, it was well, writer, you obviously write the
Mm,
script.
yeah.
So that was easy. I didn't have to do that
Mm,
together with the other two. But as a director, not an actor at the same time, it's like you kind of have to direct yourself. You kind of have to
mm,
be aware what you want to
mm,
do. If
mm.
eh, you have to kind of prepare, how would I want my character to move? How would I want him to speak? How would I want him to think? It's like, and you can, so it's already a bigger challenge because you're also playing a character and you're also kind of directing all these people, including yourself, which is not an easy thing to do. And this isn't my first rodeo doing so. I did this when I made the garden back when I went uh, when the when I went to Albius Lund, Hund. I and also before that I wrote the script to the movie Holy Shit, which was based on someone else's movie by the name of Little Bengt.
Yeah, so not your first rodeo, but like well done. Well done. So you you can find this film on your YouTube channel, right?
Yes, and
And
my channel's name is Jacob Larson, and well, currently I have 7 subscribers and 5 videos. So among them, you can find the movie itself, which is about an hour and 10 minutes and 44 or 5 seconds. And then you can also find the trailer and the bloopers slash behind the scenes compilation. But you also have 2 other videos, such as my introduction to my channel, and also you can find my review of Joker Her 2 Folie à Deux, which
mhm.
I tore to pieces pretty much
You didn't.
verbally.
All right. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. This is no, but it's interesting because like any art form, uh there are things we like and there are things we like less.
Yes.
But that's the way of art as well. It is their art is there to awaken all sorts of feelings and perspectives and yeah, just yeah, I'll I'll let you and we'll let you make up your own mind. And so, but you're absolutely welcome to watch, and you should definitely tune in to Jacob's channel. Thank you again, guys.
Thank you so much for the free promotion, and thank you for the viewership. It's really nice to see people watching this video. But as I always say on my own channel and in a lot of these interviews, have a nice day and stay brutal.
Take care now. Bye.